Have you ever had déjà vu that felt too real to be a mistake? Not the casual kind, the kind that hits like a memory you didn't know you had. Have synchronicities stacked up so precisely they stopped feeling random? Moments where reality seems to stutter, where time stretches, compresses, or briefly feels out of order. If you've ever felt like the world glitched for half a second, you're not crazy. You're noticing the code. If you've experienced any of that, stay with me. This isn't for everyone. It's for people who've quietly felt that something about reality doesn't add up. Most of us were taught that the universe is solid, that matter comes first, that consciousness is a byproduct of the brain. But quantum physics didn't just challenge that story, it fractured it. At the smallest measurable scale, particles don't behave like things. They behave like probabilities, possibilities suspended in the quantum field. Nothing settles until something observes it. This is the observer effect, and it means reality doesn't simply exist out there. It responds. If you felt isolated after a spiritual awakening, there may be a reason. Old conversations don't land the same. Relationships fade without drama. You start feeling out of sync in rooms you used to belong in. That doesn't mean you're drifting away from people. It means perception shifts vibration, and incompatible frequencies stop resonating. You feel alone because you're literally operating on a different signal. Here's where the mystery deepens. In the early 20th century, physicists ran the now famous double-slit experiment. Light behaved like a wave when unobserved, like a particle when watched. Same setup, same equipment, different outcome. Just because of observation. That wasn't philosophy, it was measurement. Decades later, versions of that experiment became even stranger. By the early 2000s, scientists working with entanglement discovered correlations that ignored distance. Then came results that quietly forced a rethink of time itself. Choices made in the present appeared to influence outcomes that looked like they had already happened. Not metaphorically, physically. That should bother you. Because if observation affects reality creation, then consciousness isn't passive. It's participatory. And that starts to explain things you felt but never had language for. Why certain thoughts seem to pull events toward them. Why some moments feel like intersections of parallel realities. Why déjà vu feels like recognition, not confusion. Your subconscious mind may be sensing probability before it collapses, tuning into shifts in frequency and energy before your rational mind catches up. There's a reason this isn't common conversation. When one physicist attempted to formally connect consciousness to quantum mechanics, his paper was rejected 14 times. The reason given was simple: too metaphysical, which usually means too disruptive. Yet the names behind these ideas aren't fringe. Nobel Prize-winning physicists openly questioned whether quantum mechanics can even be completed without consciousness. Some said it directly, others implied it carefully. Because once consciousness becomes fundamental, the story changes. Power shifts, responsibility shifts, control narratives weaken. They don't teach this in school, not because it's false, but because it destabilizes the foundation we're told to stand on. If any of this feels uncomfortably familiar, that's not coincidence, it's recognition. So stay with me. This isn't motivation, it's investigation. And what comes next goes further than most people expect, because once you see what physicists uncovered next, the idea of a hidden reality stops being abstract and starts feeling personal. If something in this resonated, take a moment and share your most unexplainable synchronicity in the comments. Not a feeling, the actual event, with details. I'm reading every single one because patterns only emerge when experiences are compared side by side. If this conversation matters, leave a like. That signal tells the algorithm to surface this message to others who are already searching for it but haven't found language yet. This isn't promotion, it's alignment. And if you choose to subscribe, understand what that means here. It's not a button. It's entry into a small community of minds operating on a different frequency. If something clicked internally, you already know you belong. What comes next goes deeper than you expect. What comes next goes deeper than you expect. In 1961, physicist John Archibald Wheeler proposed what later became known as the delayed choice experiment, suggesting that a measurement made in the present could influence how a particle behaved in the past. For decades, this sounded impossible until versions of the experiment were successfully performed and confirmed in the early 2000s using entanglement and refined double-slit experiment setups. The results showed that light did not decide whether it was a wave or a particle until the moment it was observed, even when that observation happened after the particle had already traveled. This shattered the idea that reality is fixed in time. If observation can reach backward, then the quantum field is not passive matter, but a responsive system tied to perception itself. That insight connects uncomfortably with experiences you may have had, moments of déjà vu that feel like leaked memories, synchronicities that arrive with exact timing, or the sense that multiple realities almost overlapped before collapsing into one. Quantum consciousness researchers suggest your subconscious mind may register probability shifts before conscious awareness, sensing vibration and frequency changes in hidden reality during spiritual awakening. This reframes reality creation as participatory, not mechanical. Nobel Prize winner Eugene Wigner stated in 1961 that it was impossible to formulate quantum mechanics without reference to consciousness because observation completes the process. That admission alone implies consciousness expansion is structural, not symbolic. But they do not teach this in school because once energy, perception, and reality are linked, the story of control changes. If you have experienced a moment where reality seemed to respond directly to your thought, comment that experience with details. Because this community grows through shared recognition, not belief, and it gets stranger. In 1961, physicist John Archibald Wheeler challenged the foundations of time itself by proposing the delayed choice experiment, asking whether a decision made in the present could determine a particle's past behavior. For decades, this sounded absurd, until in 2000 and again, in 2007, refined versions of the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment confirmed it using entanglement and the double-slit experiment. The data showed that light did not choose to behave as a wave or a particle until it was observed, even when that observation occurred after the particle had already passed through the apparatus. This wasn't interpretation, it was measurement. If reality waits for observation, then time is not a rigid sequence, but a flexible context shaped by perception. That idea quietly explains experiences you may have never spoken about. Déjà vu that feels like recognition rather than confusion. Synchronicities that arrive with precision, as if events were aligning around attention. Moments where it feels like parallel realities almost overlapped before collapsing into one outcome. Quantum consciousness research suggests the subconscious mind senses probability before conscious awareness, tuning into shifts in vibration and frequency within the quantum field during spiritual awakening. This reframes reality creation as a dialogue between energy and perception, not a mechanical process. Nobel Prize winner Eugene Wigner stated in 1961 that it is impossible to formulate quantum mechanics without reference to consciousness, because observation completes the equation. That admission alone implies consciousness expansion is structural, not symbolic. But they don't teach you this in school, because once awareness is fundamental, control narratives weaken. If you've experienced a moment where reality seemed to respond directly to your thought with exact timing, comment that experience in detail so this tribe of awakened perception can recognize itself. And it gets stranger. And it gets stranger. In 1935, Albert Einstein, Boris Podolsky, and Nathan Rosen published what became known as the EPR paradox, attempting to show quantum mechanics was incomplete. Instead, they exposed something far more disturbing. Decades later, in 1982, physicist Alain Aspect conducted experiments in Paris that confirmed quantum entanglement was real. Two particles, once connected, responded to each other instantly across distance, ignoring space entirely. This violated locality and shattered the idea that information travels through space normally. Reality did not behave like a machine. It behaved like a relationship. If entanglement connects particles beyond distance, then separation itself is questionable. That insight echoes experiences you may have had but never explained. Moments when thinking of someone triggers contact, when choices feel preloaded, when reality feels less like a path and more like a negotiation. Quantum consciousness suggests the quantum field is unified, and perception selects outcomes from it. Your subconscious mind may feel these shifts before logic does, sensing vibration and frequency changes during spiritual awakening. This reframes energy not as force, but as information shaped by awareness. Nobel Prize winner Max Planck stated in 1931 that consciousness is fundamental and matter is derivative from it. That admission alone undermines materialism. But they don't teach you this in school, because once perception shapes reality creation, authority loses its footing. If you've lived a moment where reality aligned with your inner state too precisely to dismiss, comment that experience in detail. This isn't about metrics. It's about recognizing each other across the noise. And if consciousness is fundamental, then death, time, and separation don't mean what we were taught. And this is where everything changes. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. Everything we walked through was never meant to impress you. It was meant to remember you. The experiments, the equations, the quiet admissions from physicists were signals pointing to the same truth from different angles. Reality has never been a fixed stage you walk across. It is a living response inside the quantum field, shaped moment by perception. Quantum consciousness doesn't add power to you. It reveals the power that was always active and quietly redirected. That uneasy feeling in your body right now isn't fear. It's recognition, a frequency shift. Consciousness expansion doesn't feel comfortable because it changes the operating system of the subconscious mind. That sense of being out of sync, of old patterns dissolving, is not a flaw. It's vibration reorganizing. Reality creation has always happened through awareness, not to it. You were taught to forget this early because systems depend on unconscious observers. A conscious observer collapses outcomes intentionally, and if consciousness collapses reality, then time, death, and separation cannot mean what we were taught they mean. Sit with that. Feel it in your chest. This knowledge was always suppressed because awakened perception can't be controlled, only guided. You didn't find this by accident. Alignment brought you here. Thousands are waking simultaneously, sensing the same hidden reality, and this space is becoming a convergence point. You are not alone in this shift. If this resonated, comment the phrase, "I am the observer," or "consciousness creates." That declaration isn't symbolic. It's a quantum act of intention that strengthens the collective frequency of this channel and attracts those operating on the same wavelength. Something irreversible has already happened inside you. You can feel it. What happens next depends on the choice you make in the next few seconds. Something already shifted while you were watching this. You can feel it. The way you're listening right now isn't the same as when you started, and it won't fully return to what it was before. That's what consciousness expansion feels like in real time. Not dramatic, not loud, just irreversible. If this landed, take a moment and write one phrase in the comments. "I am the observer. Consciousness creates." Or, "I see beyond the veil." That's not engagement for the sake of numbers. A public declaration is a quantum act. It collapses intention into the quantum field and strengthens the collective frequency of this space, attracting others in spiritual awakening who are searching for hidden reality without knowing the words yet. If this matters, leave a like. That signal tells the algorithm this knowledge deserves to reach beyond noise and suppression, not to inflate ego, but to expand access. And if you choose to subscribe, understand what that means here. This channel isn't entertainment. It's a meeting point for minds operating on a different vibration, where each video goes deeper into quantum consciousness and reality creation. The next one is titled, "They Finally Discovered God's Fingerprint in Quantum Mechanics." This will destroy everything you believe, and it goes further than most are ready for. Your consciousness brought you here. What happens now is a choice reality is waiting on.